On this episode of Top 5, I'll discuss my top 5 lesser known 90s superhero cartoons. I also have some honorable mentions. The honorable mentions include Earthworm Jim, Savage Dragon, The Tick, Samurai Jack, SWAT Kats, Reboot, Freakazoid, Transformers Beast Wars, Street Sharks, Sonic the Hedgehog, and the last honorable mention is Buttons from Animaniac. You know Buttons, he's always saving Mindy, the little child, from sudden and probably painful death on the cartoon Animaniacs. That dog is such a superhero because he is always rescuing that child, and he doesn't get the love he deserves except for from Mindy, of course, the child that he's always rescuing, but he is very superhero-like. Number 5 on my list is Sailor Moon. I actually watched this a lot as a kid. I remember it being a lot of fun. It was actually the first anime show that I ever watched, and it kind of paved the way for me to really enjoy anime and to want to give anime a chance, and I became a huge anime fan down the line, but it actually all started with Sailor Moon. I think what I really liked about Sailor Moon was some of the really cool transformations. The funny thing about the transformations is it seemed like it took like 5 minutes for a character to transform every episode, and there were a bunch of different characters who could transform, so that always seemed to take a while, but it was really cool the way the transformation process took place. And the battles were cool, the storylines were fun. One of the other things I really loved about the series that always kind of made me laugh too is how characters would appear on the show. Specifically Tuxedo Mask. Any of y'all who know Tuxedo Mask, I just thought it was so cool how you would see a rose freaking fly across the screen, and then you would see Tuxedo Mask freaking just show up, and he's posing and he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and before he saves the day, or he helps Sailor Moon save the day. So that was a lot of fun stuff, and that's one of the reasons I really love Sailor Moon. It's a good cartoon, don't let anybody tell you it's not. Why Sailor Moon takes the number 5 slot in my top 5 90s lesser known superhero cartoons. Number 4 on my list is actually Captain Planet. Now I know what you're thinking, a lot of people will probably say Captain Planet was really lame, and I disagree. I think Captain Planet was awesome. One of the reasons I love Captain Planet is because I thought it was a lot of fun. I like the characters, I like the battles and the storylines, but I really like that this hero was more about saving the environment and helping animals and helping people all together. I've always kind of cared about those things, even as a little kid. So whenever somebody decided to make a Captain Planet cartoon, I thought it was just really cool because that's what he does. He goes around and he helps people, he helps animals, he helps the environment. I just thought it was cool how they could summon him. What happens is children, they have these power rings. If it helps, you can think of them as Green Lantern power rings that summon, when they're joined together, they summon Captain Planet, who's this hero who of course protects the environment. The kids themselves, they actually were pretty formidable for being children, but eventually they got to where, you know, if they can't do anything more, they summon Captain Planet, and Captain Planet shows up and he saves the day, and he's not without weakness either. Pollution weakens him, and he's just a great 90s superhero. So don't let anybody tell you it's a crappy cartoon because it talks about the environment. It's actually a lot of fun, and it is a pretty good cartoon. And I actually remember watching Captain Planet a lot. I would actually sit and wait for Captain Planet to come on, so that's how much I really enjoyed this cartoon. Number 3 on my list is actually Dexter's Laboratory. There's a lot of reasons to love Dexter's Laboratory. If you haven't seen it, if you have kids now and they haven't seen it, you should probably let them see it. Dexter himself is kind of a hero. He saves the day a lot in this cartoon, but the reason this one made my list of top 90s lesser known superhero cartoons is because the backup cartoons, which was the Justice Friends and Dial M for Monkey. I really love those little smaller mini cartoons within the Dexter cartoon, and they were so much fun. If you're not familiar, the Justice Friends was kind of like an homage spoof of the Avengers. It had like a Hulk-like character, a Captain America-like character, and a Thor-like character, and they just went on fun adventures together. And then the other cartoon, Dial M for Monkey, was also a lot of fun. It featured a monkey who most unassumingly lives in Dexter's lab, and Dexter doesn't think he's anything but a monkey, but he actually has superpowers, and he actually goes out and he fights crime and he saves the day, and he's a lot of fun, and he talks in monkey language, which was one of the things that I loved about him as a kid. And so those two cartoons, along with Dexter, combined made such a great, enjoyable cartoon time for me, and I really loved those series. They were a lot of fun and definitely a great lesser known 90s cartoon series. Number 2 on my list is Darkwing Duck. That was another series that I sat and waited for to show up on Disney Channel and watched religiously. It was a lot of fun. Darkwing Duck is kind of an homage slash spoof of Batman, of course, but this one stars a duck, and he kind of also looks like the Shadow a little bit too, if you're familiar with the Shadow. But Darkwing Duck's a lot of fun. What was great about Darkwing Duck is that he kind of, yes, he started off as kind of a spoof and homage of Batman, but he kind of came into his own, and his series was really fun. Darkwing Duck had a lot of humor in the series, and his own series managed to stand on its own, and it was just ended up being a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed that cartoon as a kid. Darkwing Duck is definitely an early 90s superhero cartoon that I really enjoyed, and I thought was a lot of fun. And the #1 entry on my top 5 lesser known 90s superhero cartoons is going to go to Gargoyles. If you can remember the Gargoyles cartoon, the first thing that really got to me is the intro music. Gargoyles had incredible intro music, and the opening credits were also very cool, introducing the Gargoyles. Gargoyles was also really cool because of the voice acting. It had some really great voice acting. As a kid, I really loved Gargoyles because of the great characters. I mean, Goliath was awesome. I love Brooklyn, Bronx. All of the Gargoyles characters were really strong and well written, and they had really good storylines that I really enjoyed. And I just thought Gargoyles was such a cool cartoon, something I would rush home from school to watch Gargoyles. To me, it is that good that it can fit into the category with Batman animated series, Superman, X-Men the animated series. I just thought it was really well done, and I really loved the storylines and characters. And so it kind of made me think as a kid about, topics that are maybe a little bit more mature, such as, being the last survivors of their race that was hunted down. They were heroes, but they were hated, but they still tried to do the right thing and help people. Gargoyles did have some of these more mature themes, and for me, overall, Gargoyles deserves the #1 spot because it is such a great cartoon with all of these elements. It is one of my favorite cartoons, and it did make my #1 spot for top 5 90s lesser known superhero cartoons. Thanks for watching Top 5. I actually had a lot of fun reminiscing about all of these 90s cartoons that I really enjoyed. It brought back a lot of fun memories about being a kid, and these cartoons were a good part of it for me. And so I hope you enjoyed the show. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment, and I appreciate your support. So thanks for watching.